Hello everyone, welcome to Cricket Next. England have defeated West Indies in the first test at Lord's, and with that, a glorious career of James Anderson has come to an end. A stellar career with 704 test wickets has come to an end. Soumya, what are your first thoughts on James Anderson's retirement?
You just feel bad about it. Someone who has shown us. जिसने एक हमारा चाइल्डहुड बहुत बढ़िया बनाया है विद हिज बॉलिंग द वे ही यूज टू कैपिटलाइज ऑन दोज कंडीशंस इन इंग्लैंड एंड देन द वे ही यूज टू बॉल इन एशिया आई स्टिल रिमेंबर हिज अर्ली डेज व्हेन वी वर वेरी यंग watching him and just praying that he doesn't pick up wickets against India whenever he used to play against India. But again, 700 plus wickets in Test cricket in just one format is just a phenomenal number, to say the least. And what a career, man! What a career! And happy retirement. I just hope he continues to serve the game in some capacity, so that we just keep on seeing him in one of the formats at least, going ahead.
Right, he's going to be a bowling coach and a bowling mentor for the England team. They've already announced this thing. ECB seems like they didn't want to part ways with Henderson. Henderson either wasn't interested to go away from the team. He in fact wanted to play the entire summer, but considering the team combinations and the team management thought that it will be better to give other bowlers the chances ahead of some big tournaments coming forward in the next year. Do you think he should have played a bit longer?
It was just about those 4 or 5 wickets where he could have gone past Shane Warne's tally of 708 wickets, but that's okay. That's fine. You are still ending as the third highest wicket taker in the history of Test cricket. You are ending as the highest wicket taker as far as fast bowling is concerned, so no worries about it. And the player of that stature will never play for records, and it's a great it's a great ending to that kind of a career. At Lord's, picking up 3-4 wickets in his last appearance in whites for England against a good West Indies side. I would say that's a young side, inexperienced side. But again, with West Indies, you don't really know what is in the kitty when you face them. So yeah, a good end to the career. 700 plus wickets, as I said. If he would have played 3-4 matches more, that would have taken him to probably 720-725 wickets. That's it. But that's fine. Yeah, 704 wickets is another huge number to in front of his name. And as I've been saying, one of the finest fast bowlers that the history of cricket has ever seen.
Right. So Soumya, you talked about records. You said that he didn't play for records, quite obviously, but then you see the numbers: 704 Test wickets, more than 900 international wickets. More than 40,000 balls in Test cricket, and more than 49,000 balls overall in international cricket. How do you look at this kind of numbers? Also, is the highest for any fast bowler as such, because we see the names of Muthiah Muralidharan, Shane Warne, Anil Kumble above him in all these records. So, for a fast bowler to continue playing for this long, be this fit, because we see the fast bowlers in current generation getting injured after playing a few T20 games,
running more than 800 kilometers.
Right. So how do you look at all these numbers?
Fitness. Fitness is something that was phenomenal. As far as James Anderson's name is concerned, we have a Virat Kohli in India, whose fitness is also is talked about every now and then. But if the fast bowlers have to look up to somebody, it should be Anderson. He just left aside other formats. Eventually, he last played a T20 in 2009 when the T20 was getting that glory, when IPL was getting that kind of a glory. He stepped aside from the shorter format. And again, also ODI, he didn't really play 50 over cricket. बहुत ज़्यादा उन्होंने इतना नहीं खेला कुछ टाइम के बाद. He was just focusing on playing Test cricket for England, having a partnership with someone like Stuart Broad, for those many years. So that shows the kind of sincerity and seriousness he had for the Test cricket. I understand the way things go in England. In England, English cricket is pretty different. The counties hold a more significance, I would say, rather than the white ball format. White ball format have their own importance as well. But as far as county championships are concerned, county cricket is concerned, it has got a lot more weightage. So yeah, he used to play county. He has been a part of England's Test team all these years. He has been somebody who has been in the 11 for more than 20 years almost. So yeah, I mean, that shows the kind of sincerity he had. And the young fast bowlers should look up to him. You know, if you come from any of the countries, just look up to him, see what he, just get their chance to just talk to him, understand his body, understand the way he used to train during the season, understand the way he used to train off the season, get that diet in, just try to alter your formats, not alter your formats, in fact just maintain that kind of a balance in formats you have, because obviously a young kid of 18-20 years would like to play all the formats, and which is great, but just try to maintain your body. I am really against of this thought कि यार workload manage होना चाहिए. Workload नहीं manage करना, fitness manage करना. Fitness is हाँ, obviously I agree. Relatively अगर एक weaker team के against आप खेलने जा रही है आपकी टीम, और आप एक prime bowler हो, अपने form में हो, और एक बहुत important bowler हो, then it's fine to just give it a omission to that break to that series. But अगर एक बड़ा series है, so just try to be in there, play all the formats, and eventually मेरे हिसाब से हर प्लेयर का फोकस होना चाहिए व्हेन ही इज एंडिंग हिज करियर ना, ही शुड बी अ टेस्ट प्लेयर एंड नॉट अ T20 and probably an ODI player. No, end your career as a test player. You know, the greats have done that. You look at a Sachin Tendulkar, you look at a James Anderson, you look at probably a Steve Waugh. You look at Ricky Ponting. These guys. Ponting did play that T20 World Cup, but how do you know him? You know him because of those double hundreds for Australian Test cricket, or that ODI format, the way he won World Cups for Australia in ODI format. So these are certain things that these youngsters should focus in. Even if you look at Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, they are the latest ones to announce retirement from one format, right? Alongside Ravindra Jadeja, they did it in T20I format, because it is kind of a, वो एक अलग बात है कि यार वो यंग लड़कों का क्रिकेट है या जो भी है, दैट इज अ डिफरेंट केस ऑल टुगेदर. बट दे इवेंचुअली, वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड, दे इवेंचुअली वांट टू प्ले दैट longer format for longer time, as much as they can, prolong it, which is a great thing, which is a great feeling towards cricket, because Test cricket is the cricket. That is it.
The cricketer, right? And I think Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli as well are moving towards that direction to keep playing Test cricket. Right, undoubtedly. And a very fine point you mentioned there, that it is more important to manage your fitness rather than workload. Sorry. But to talk about Anderson a bit more, Soumya, there have been quite a bit of talks about his competition with Virat Kohli in the recent times. We missed out in the last tour. England came India. But before that, it was a very, very tough competition. But Anderson said that bowling to Sachin Tendulkar was the most difficult for him throughout his career. So, what do you think about his matchups against some of these greats of the batting side? Like, he has bowled against Sachin Tendulkar and Ricky Ponting as well, and then he has bowled to the likes of Virat Kohli and Steve Smith as well. So, how do you look at this?
I love his matchup against Shubman Gill. But jokes apart, yaar, if any of the bowlers of this era, if you just pick one of the bowlers, he will talk about Sachin Tendulkar being the most difficult batsman to bowl at, because the kind of mind Sachin Tendulkar had during his playing days and while batting was just phenomenal. He got outside off stump a couple of times in Australia, that happened, and then he didn't drive. He scored more than 200 just on the onside. That is the kind of caliber, that is why bowlers rate him so high. That is someone like a Virat Kohli himself rates him really high, because a cricketer of that stature and level, Virat Kohli I'm talking about, उसको समझ आता है कि सचिन तेंदुलकर की technically he was that sound, he was that aware of his game. Okay, fine. If one fine day my off stump, offside is not working, that's fine. I won't play there. That's a kind of patience a great batsman has, and that's why every bowler rates him so high and talks about him so highly. So that's the thing, yeah. And I agree to Anderson. Bowling to Sachin is the most difficult task in this in whatever cricket I have seen. I'm a big Virat Kohli fan, but I would still say bowling to a Sachin Tendulkar will always be most difficult for any of the bowlers.
Right. Very nicely put up there, Soumya. One last thing as we bid farewell to James Anderson. Any favorite memory of yours of James Anderson? You've seen him play over the years, throughout his career almost. So, any favorite memories from any of the formats?
They're pretty much a lot of memories I do have. I still remember the way he used to trouble the Indian batters and all the batters around the globe. But that 2014 India's trip to England, Virat Kohli struggling against him, that outstanding off-stump delivery,
Right.
just an aggregate of 139, and then he goes back, scores 593. So that matchup was kind of very interesting for me, because the way Virat batted in 2014, made 2018 wala edition the tour more interesting, more how
right.
he would negate that. And that is something that was because of Anderson. He
Right.
kind of picked that spot कि भाई ऑफ स्टंप के बाहर फेंको, स्विंग कराओ थोड़ा बाहर, जाएगा मारने लड़का. तब तो बहुत he was very young,
Right.
he had that all that energy into him.
Right.
After उसके बाद ही कप्तान बने थे विराट
Right.
कोहली उस टूर के बाद ही, ऑस्ट्रेलिया टूर पे, just 3 months after that. So कहीं ना कहीं वो जो इंस्टिगेटेड था ना वो 2018 का परफॉर्मेंस वो 2014 से ही आया था.
Right.
And I genuinely thank जेम्स एंडरसन फॉर दैट, क्योंकि उसके बाद बहुत ट्वीक करा विराट ने अपना गेम, एंड वो डिफरेंट लेवल पे चला गया.
राइट. सो क्वाइट इंटरेस्टिंग दैट मैचअप, बिकॉज 2014 में 4 या 5 बार विराट कोहली एंडरसन की बॉलिंग में आउट हुए थे, एंड देन in 2018 when he went there, he didn't get out to Anderson even once.
Yeah.
So very, very interesting matchup, and very nicely put up by Soumya again. Thank you for your insights, Soumya. Thank you viewers for watching us. Stay tuned to Cricket Next, because we will bring all the updates from the world of cricket.